The fading flame of a lamp flickered, fighting a losing battle against the shadows on the wall. In the small room of the old folks' home, the mother sat gazing out through the window bars. The sorrow of her life had deeply settled into the worn fabric of her chair. That old faded chair was once the heart of their home, a favorite spot for her and her husband. Now, it was the color of her grief, a dark shade of memories. Beyond the window, trees melted into the night's chill. They were all planted by her late husband. Each tree had a story, a memory. The large mango tree in the south yard reminded her of the time her son took his first steps and stumbled. The cassia tree near the kitchen reminded her of her daughter's laughter, filling the seasons with blossoms. Her eyes filled with tears unknowingly. Here within these four walls, even memories felt less intense. Her husband's last days replayed in her mind like a movie. "Don't you worry, our children will take care of us." His last words echoed in her ears like a wail. "Our family, that is our strength." Within 3 months of his passing, the roots of that strength were torn out. "Mom, you'll be happy here. You have everything you need. We're busy with our businesses." Her son's voice pierced her heart like a sharp stone. She remembered her own hands, held out to comfort him as he spoke, feeling like strangers. She couldn't utter a single word. When her son slammed the door shut and left, she felt as if a part of her soul had been locked away. For the first week, she didn't leave her room. She hoped her son would call. She waited for him to say, "Mom, my work is done, I'm coming to get you." But what came was not the sound of a phone call, but the cold of the old folks' home, colder than her son's words. In this cold, her only companions were other mothers who had come to share their sorrows, like the plants she had nurtured. Among them, Lily became her closest friend. Lily, who used to act in plays in her youth, would often say that life was a big drama. "Sometimes we are just spectators, and sometimes the main characters," she'd say with a laugh. The mother knew that even in that laughter, there was a lot of hidden pain. Lily's story was just like her own. A mother who sold her property, gave it to her children, and was ultimately abandoned. "My son is building a big building. Every brick is my dream," Lily's son had said. In the warmth of those words, Lily's life had burned out. Now Lily's dreams, her laughter, her songs were all confined within the walls of this old folks' home. One day, after dinner, when everyone had returned to their rooms, the mother stood outside the office door of the old folks' home. Her son's voice was clear from behind the closed door. "If I finalize a new project with Mr. Williams' company, all my financial problems will be solved," he was telling someone. "I invested all the money from selling Mom's property into this project." For a moment, the mother felt her heart stop. She understood then that her children's busyness, their words, were all just an excuse. They didn't want love, they wanted money. The pain of that realization flashed through her like the light from the lamp. The pain of knowing her own children had destroyed the nest she had built for them completely shattered her. Her son's voice rose again. "Mom will be happy now. She has everything she needs there." Hearing those words, the mother couldn't trust her own eyes or ears. The question of why she was abandoned in this world stormed through her mind. Did she have to pay such a high price to be happy? Finally, a decision was made in her mind. She was not this helpless, grief-stricken mother, she was a human being. She had self-respect. She would not bow her head before her own children. When she heard the phone conversation, she understood that she was no longer an ordinary mother, but the one who caused her son's business failure. She decided to go back to her own home without anyone knowing. She knew the scent of the jasmine hair oil she always used was far from her son's home. Her friend Lily from the old folks' home came forward to help her reach it. "We'll go together," Lily said. "My son is also doing well now. I need to see him, and this Mr. Williams." There was an intensity in Lily's words. Lily, who had acted in plays in her youth, disguised the mother as a commoner. Unnoticed by anyone, the mother and Lily stepped out of the old folks' home. In their hearts was just one goal: to reclaim their self-respect. In the silence of the night, the big gate of the old folks' home slowly opened. The mother and Lily walked out like shadows. Darkness had spread all around, and even the stars were dim. In that silence, their only companions were their own heartbeats. The mother only had a small bag and an old shawl to protect her from the cold. "We have to move forward, don't look back," Lily said in a low voice. Those words gave the mother new energy. She remembered the days when she and her husband walked this very path hand in hand, years ago. Then, every house, every street light had a story. Now everything had changed. Big concrete buildings had replaced the old thatched roof houses. Colorful billboards had hidden the grocery store she used to look at with desire. "Look, Lily, there used to be a river here," the mother said when they reached a turn. "My husband, my children and I used to come here to bathe. My husband would sing to me when we sat with our feet in the water." "It's okay, Mom," Lily comforted her. "Rivers are in our minds, they won't dry up." The mother didn't feel comforted, because the river in her mind was now filled with dirt. It was the hatred for her son, who had taken advantage of her love for them, took away her property, and left her in this state. They walked and reached a bus stop. The cold wind pierced their bodies. Lily put her own shawl on the mother's shoulder. "Should we have some tea?" Lily asked. They went into a small tea shop nearby. The mother felt a sense of relief as she held the warm tea cup. An old song played on the radio in the tea shop. "My husband loved this song," the mother said. Seeing the mother remembering her husband in small things, Lily's eyes filled with tears. Memories are our greatest wealth. They can't steal that. There was a sense of self-respect in Lily's words. As they left after drinking tea, Lily bought a newspaper. The mother looked on in surprise. "When I used to act in plays, I loved these newspapers. I craved to be a character known to the world," Lily said with a smile. "Now I don't want the world, and I don't want the story. What I want is the strength to stand with my mother." The mother and Lily continued their journey. With every step, a memory came to their minds. The path where she took her son to school, the shop where she bought her daughter's favorite sweets. Why did everything feel so heavy now? Why did memories bring intense pain instead of comfort and coolness to her mind? After about an hour, they could see her son's house in the distance. The twinkling colored lights, the deafening music. The happiness there was the opposite of the coldness here. Perhaps the pain she was experiencing felt like a celebration to them. Hatred and anger surged in the mother's heart like a storm. "Mom, we just have a little more to walk. Don't be angry," Lily said. "I'm not angry, Lily. I'm in more pain than that," the mother said. The pain of a mother who has to hide and sneak to enter her own home. They reached the house and hid behind a wall. Luxury cars lined the yard. Her son's friends, business partners, they laughed and joked. The mother's eyes searched for old pictures, the old yard, the clothes hanging out to dry, the plants, her son's laughter. Nothing was there. The house felt like a museum to the mother. "This is not my home, Lily. This is a world alien to me." A tear rolled down from the mother's eye. "Mom," Lily held the mother's hand tightly. "This world is your own. We have to go there with our self-respect and see the ones who abandoned us. They are waiting for Mr. Williams." The mother slowly lifted her head and looked into Lily's eyes. There was a ray of hope in Lily's words. In that ray, the mother's self-respect gained a new strength. She slowly came out from behind the wall. The mother and Lily crossed the gate of her son's house and went inside. Their heartbeats were as loud as a drum. It wasn't fear, it was the intensity of a revenge, a fight for justice that had been stored for years. "Mom, I've made sure no one recognizes you," Lily said. But the mother's mind was raging like a storm. With every step she remembered the dreams she had built. Years ago, when they laid the foundation of this house, she had placed her hand on her son's head and said, "This is our nest of love, my son." Those words had turned into a cruel joke. They walked to the veranda of the house. They stood in a corner, unnoticed by anyone. In the commotion of the party, no one paid them any attention. Inside was a big world of luxury. Laughter, conversations and music all rose like a wave. "I don't recognize it now," the daughter-in-law said to someone. "Where did all this come from?" "From my hard work," her son said. The mother's eyes filled with tears. Her eyes wandered to every corner of the room. There were so many memories in that house. Her husband's laughter, her children's games, the plants she had grown, everything. But the most painful sight was her grandson, standing in a corner laughing and talking with his friends. He was very dear to her. Did he ever wish to see his grandma? her mind asked. She slowly walked towards him. He turned around suddenly. His eyes couldn't believe it. His eyes filled with tears instantly. "Grandma," his voice echoed. That voice shocked everyone present. The laughter, conversation, and music all stopped suddenly. Everyone looked at his face. Then they turned to where he was pointing. There stood an old woman, a face that looked familiar to everyone. It was the mother. The son's face turned pale. His hands trembled. His daughter-in-law looked at him in shock. How did this happen? A question rose in her mind. At the same time, Mr. Williams came up to the mother. "Your son told me you were very happy," he said. Hearing Mr. Williams' words, the son and daughter-in-law looked at each other. There was a kind of fear and helplessness on their faces. Mr. Williams continued, "Wealth and luxury don't make a person happy. Love, sincerity, and honesty do. How can you succeed in business if you can't even love your own mother?" Mr. Williams' words pierced the son's heart like a knife. Without waiting to see the scene, the mother slowly opened the door and walked out. She no longer had a home, but she stepped out of the house with the satisfaction of having regained her self-respect. Lily was with her. "Mom, let's start a new life," Lily said. "Yes, let's start a new world," the mother replied. The mother and Lily slowly opened the door of the house and stepped out. Behind them, the deafening music seemed to have stopped. It was a descent from the glitter of luxury into the coldness of the night. Perhaps it was the same coldness they had experienced for the past 3 months. But this coldness had no weight. It had the warmth of regained self-respect. The sights they saw in the yard, the words they heard, the lies, everything flashed through their minds like a nightmare. They walked slowly. With every step, the old pain slowly disappeared. "Mom, you don't have to fear anyone now," Lily said in a low voice. "We have escaped the fate of being a guest in our own home." Those arguments filled the mother's heart with a new strength. For a moment she felt like laughing. She remembered her son's lies, her daughter-in-law's acting, Mr. Williams' words, all like scenes from a play. "You're right, Lily. Life is a play. Sometimes we have to take on an unexpected role," the mother said. In the distance, the lights in her son's house were still flickering. But that light had no brightness. No one had anything to say, and they all just looked at each other. The guests understood everything from the expression on the son's face. It was as if the palace built on lies had suddenly collapsed. They said their goodbyes without waiting for anything. "It's not easy to do business with someone who can't even protect their own mother," someone said, and the son heard it. The son and daughter-in-law blamed each other. "I told you to make sure Mom didn't come," the son said angrily. "I can't control your mother. She humiliated me in front of everyone," the daughter-in-law said. Her words pierced the son's heart like a knife. Meanwhile, the grandson was sitting in a chair in his room. His mind was raging like a storm. When he saw his grandma, his heart ached. "Grandma," he called. But his hands couldn't reach out to her. Will Dad hurt Grandma? He feared. His mind blamed himself. "I couldn't save Grandma." A tear rolled down from his eyes. He understood that his grandma's happiness was not in that house. It was in her self-respect. Outside, the mother and Lily walked a little further. They needed a place to stay. They stopped a rickshaw and went to the nearby railway station. As she sat on the bench at the railway station, a thought flashed through her mind. Where should she go now? What did she have of her own in this world? No home, no children. "We haven't lost anything, Mom," Lily said. "We have our self-respect. That's enough. Tomorrow, a new dawn will come. Maybe that dawn will be a hope for our new world." The mother slowly lifted her head. A train was coming to the station in the distance. Its light fell on her face. In that light, the mother felt a new strength. This journey was not over. This was a new beginning. The beginning of a journey to stand on her own 2 feet, to live for her own dreams. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. This part makes the emotional journey of the characters clearer. In the next chapter, we can move forward with the new lives of the mother and Lily, along with the changes in the grandson's mind. You can tell me how the story should move forward. You can also tell me if you want any changes to be made in this part. In the silence of the night, as she sat in the railway station, the mother's mind was filled with thoughts of a new dawn. She knew that their lives would not be confined to a palace of lies and burdens. The sound of the train coming from a distance felt like the beginning of a new journey. They got on the train together and started a journey to a village far from the hustle and bustle of the city. They didn't even know the name of that village. But when they got down there, they felt a sense of relief. The peaceful atmosphere, the soft sound of the wind in the fields, the small houses on the hillsides, everything reminded the mother of her old world. Lily had a small amount of money, which she had earned during her acting days. "We can start a new life with this money," Lily said. They rented a small house in the village. There was only electricity and water, no luxuries, but there was peace in that house. They planted some plants in the yard of the house. "There is no life without roots," the mother said. Even when she lost her own home and her own children abandoned her, the mother realized that she had not lost her roots. These plants gave her a new hope. At the same time, in the city, her son's life was falling apart. With the deal with Mr. Williams' company falling through, his business suffered a huge loss. He called his friends. No one answered the phone. Even his friends alienated him. "How can someone who abandoned their own mother succeed in business?" people said to each other. Many people called his phone. Lenders, business partners, everyone demanded their money back. He felt as if his dreams and desires had been shattered. His wife also left him. Sitting alone in his room, he thought about his life. What was he, and what had he become? He had cheated his mother, who had given up everything for him. In his pursuit of money, he had lost love, peace, and family. When he looked in the mirror, he saw his face. It looked like a beggar's, a criminal's. His eyes filled with tears. Where would Grandma be? Hearing his grandson's voice, he looked up. The grandson was standing in front of him. There was a kind of hope and innocence in his eyes. "Do you want to see Grandma?" he asked. The son was stunned for a moment. It was his son who had come to help him correct his mistakes. I don't know," he said. "Grandma lost Dad's love. Dad lost Grandma's love," the grandson said. "Shall we go and find Grandma?" The son felt his grandson's words were a new light. He held his son close. Tears flowed from his eyes. It was not tears of sorrow. It was tears of remorse and hope. "Let's go, son," he said. At the same time, in the village, flowers bloomed on the plants of the mother and Lily. Those flowers had a new fragrance. It was the fragrance of a new life, a new dawn. The grandson's words opened a new world in the son's mind. Having lost his self-respect, being alone, and having everything fall apart, he asked a question. "Why did I run away?" He held his son close. "Let's go, son. Let's go and find Grandma." The son didn't wait for a moment. They walked out of the old house together. Their journey was completely different. It was not for wealth and luxury, but for lost love and peace. On the way, they saw old sights. The paths they used to walk together, the shops where they used to eat, everything. But they didn't know where the mother was. They first went to the old folks' home. They couldn't find the mother there. "She left a week ago," the authorities said, "but we don't know where she went." The son and grandson were disappointed. They searched every corner of the city, hospitals, parks, railway stations, everything. But they couldn't find the mother. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. At the same time, in the village, the mother and Lily were building a new life. Flowers bloomed on the plants they had grown. They made vegetables from those plants and sold them to the people of the village. They started a small business with that income. One day, as she sat on a hillside, the mother saw a figure in the distance. A young man was walking with a child. Their figures looked familiar to her. She looked closely. "Lily, could that be my son?" she said. Lily looked at her face. "Mom, that's not their face," she said. But as the figures came closer, the mother was shocked. It was her son and grandson. There was a kind of sorrow and helplessness on their faces. They were walking back and forth, looking for the mother. Seeing them, the mother's heart ached. She felt like crying. "They must be in a lot of pain," the mother said. "We have to help them." "But why so much love for the ones who abandoned you?" Lily asked. "They are my son," the mother said. "They made a mistake, but now they understand." The mother slowly walked towards them. "Son," she called. The son looked up. His eyes couldn't believe it. His mother was standing in front of him. "Grandma," the grandson called. He ran and hugged his grandma. The son fell at his mother's feet. Tears flowed from his eyes. "Mom, I'm sorry. I made a big mistake," he said. The mother stroked his head. "Get up, son," she said. "I never abandoned you. I am your mother." The mother's words opened a new world in the son's mind. As the tears left his eyes, he saw a new hope. His son held his hands tightly. "Our home," the grandson said. "This is our new home." The three of them walked together to the small house where the mother and Lily lived. In the garden in front of the house, beautiful flowers had bloomed. That garden was a world built with a lot of love and hard work, without the glitter of luxury. They went inside. A clean and bright room, a house filled with many old memories. They had a lot to say. The son confessed his mistakes. The mother listened to his every word with a smile and love. Lily made them tea. That tea had a special taste. It was the taste of love, forgiveness and comfort. They sat and talked together. The mother and son shared their old memories. The son's childhood, school, jokes, everything. The grandson was happy in this new world. He was happy to hear his father's and grandma's stories. The next day, the son went back to the city. He had to try and solve his business problems. He called Mr. Williams and apologized to him. "You are on the right path. If you can love your mother, you can succeed in business too," Mr. Williams said. Mr. Williams gave him a new opportunity. The son completely changed his life. He gave up his old friends and luxuries. He started a new business in the village. It was a small business, but it had the values of sincerity and love. He helped his mother with farming, made new vegetables, and sold them in the market. Many years later, that village became a new world. The story of the mother and son was an inspiration to everyone. They helped many people and gave many families a new life. The story of the mother, Lily, and the grandson was completed there. Their lives were not like trees without roots. It was a big tree filled with love, sincerity, and forgiveness, and it had strong roots. A new chair came to replace the mother's old worn-out chair, but that chair had a special color. It was the color of the victory, peace, and happiness they had won in their lives.